Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Stories of Yonko back here with another video, and this is part 2 to the part 1 of Devin Haney being the biggest clout chaser in boxing. Look, I missed out on a couple of points that I wanted to make or wanted to go into further detail on, but I didn't want to make the video that long because it's my first video back. And I know how you guys get about Devin Haney. You guys are going to run to the comment sections and get very, very upset about things, but it's just the truth. Facts are facts. I'm not a Devin Haney hater. I'm not a Devin Haney fan. I'm just speaking from the outside, okay? I'm speaking as a fan of the sport of boxing, a guy who respects him as a boxer. I box myself, but I'm not at that level that he's at. But at the same time, it's like you can recognize certain things when you just see levels to certain fighters, and when you box yourself, you can see it's a gap between this guy and the next guy, right? And when you're not thinking emotionally, as most Devin Haney fans are, Tank Davis fans are, they think off of emotion. You know, their takes are based off of emotion. They ride with the guy that they ride with because they've been riding with him. It's what they say, Devin Haney versus everybody. It's not just I'm a fan of Devin Haney. It's like Larry versus everybody. No matter what you see, it's Devin Haney versus everybody. Okay, so I wanted to kind of elaborate on some of my points in the first video, how Devin Haney is treated amongst his peers. Every little thing that Devin Haney does gets a stimulus to it. Like every little thing. The Brian Norman Jr. fight. Oh, like it was such a great performance. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But once again, I'm holding Devin Haney to the standard that he's supposed to be as good as Keyshawn. He's supposed to be as good as Shakur. Neither of those guys have had a performance like a Brian Norman Jr. performance, because that is so subpar. But it's a dominant performance for Devin Haney. For Devin Haney standards, you know, landing under 100 punches, 70 punches, and, you know, clinching or whatever, that's dominant to them. That's a Devin Haney style type of fight. Like, but that's cool. He won. He got the UD, but it was an ugly fight, right? And people don't understand the reason why guys rooted for Brian Norman Jr., not because they hated Devin Haney or anything. People thought Brian Norman Jr. was going to beat Devin Haney because of how low Devin Haney's stock was, not because of how proven and how dangerous Brian Norman Jr. was. Brian Norman Jr. was the same guy that dug boots. That's on wax. Like, people already knew that. Like, people already knew that was the guy that dug boots. Yeah, he got knockout of the year, but once again, he ducked the best fighter in the division and ended up fighting Devin Haney. What does that say about Boots? And what does that say about Devin Haney? Okay, he thought Devin Haney was a more winnable fight for him. Same with Senior. The buildup was very entertaining, but clearly they thought that was an easier fight, and clearly the fans believed that it was a more winnable fight for Brian Norman Jr., and they had doubts of Devin Haney because of the Ramirez fight, because the Ryan Garcia fight. His stock was at an all-time low, right? So when you go into that fight and you beat Brian Norman Jr. and the performance is what it is, it's a Devin Haney type of performance, you know, nothing that's going to go down as a masterclass. They called it a masterclass, and it wasn't. But once again, even within his fans, the expectation was so low. The bar is so low for Devin Haney. Any little thing that he does is seen as a masterclass. It's seen as just so great because they don't expect much from him. Okay? He got a knockdown. You know? Oh my goodness. Oh, he dominated Brian Norman Jr. No, he didn't. He got a knockdown in the second round, and Brian Norman Jr., he started to storm back in the later rounds. Not in the later rounds, the second half of the fight. Devin Haney really didn't have an answer. The jab wasn't there. Like, there was no real offense, but it was a clinch fest. It was a very ugly fight. But once again, he won the fight, and that's good for him. But him winning that fight didn't automatically put him back in conversations with a Shakur, a Keyshawn, a Tank, or any of those guys, because none of those guys would have ever been put into position to lose to Ryan Garcia, even if he took 0.2 milligrams of Ostarine. None of those guys would have lost to Ryan Garcia. So him being Brian Norman Jr. doesn't put him back on this pedestal, and that's my main problem with Devin Haney being treated like the special kid in the class, right? He gets extra credit for the bare minimum. And it's like these other guys are never going to get their credit until he loses again, to where they say, oh yeah, Devin Haney, he actually was that level of fighter when he lost to Ryan Garcia. These other guys are not going to get their credit until Devin Haney fights them and loses, because I don't see him beating Keyshawn or Shakur. And it's not because I'm glazing it. It's because they have too much. They got too much in their bag. They're too skilled. They're too good defensively and offensively. Landing 70 punches is not going to do that. You're not going to beat those guys. You're not going to outpoint them. You're not going to outbox them. Like, and keep in mind, Devin Haney did get clipped by Brian Norman Jr. in that fight. I can't remember which round it was, but he definitely got clipped in that fight. Good recovery, but it was just like, people talk about that fight like it was some dominant performance. No, it wasn't. There's a reason why out of all the fights on that card, it's the one. It just what, I don't even think the full fight is at 800K. I'm not sure, but Shakur's passed that with T.O. Abdullah Mesa had passed that. Of course, Benavidez had passed that. Bam had passed that. His is the least watched on that card. And no, Shakur wasn't on that card, but I'm talking about his fight with T.O. But I'm saying his fight was the least viewed on that card of the original main card, because of course Vito Melnicki had fought on the undercard to replace the Janabek fight. I believe it was a Janabek fight. It was something like that. I can't remember. It was so many fights took it on and off that card, but yeah, man. Or it was the better BF Najee Lopez fight. I can't remember, but listen, Devin Haney is a good fighter, and when you guys watch him and Bill start throwing guys' names out there, it's to keep his name in the news cycle, man. Because they understand that Devin Haney is still young. He's not even 30 yet. Well, he's 27. He's 27. That's the issue with where Devin Haney is at right now. He's already, been undisputed. But who did he beat to become undisputed, right? Like, and they're still living off those coattails. Like, when you look at Devin Haney fans, shout out to my guy Art, man. They have to go back into the vault. They have to go back to like old sparring footage when Shakur and him were kids, and stuff from 9 years ago, old sparring, all this stuff to make an argument for him in 2026 when he doesn't fight like that. It's sparring, and it's not really going to show you what the fight would be. The mystique of what would happen keeps his name alive, because in reality, his fans, the people that root from, they don't really want to see that fight. I keep hearing how Keyshawn Davis isn't ready. Keyshawn Davis has fought more competition within 15 fights than Devin Haney did when he started his career, than Brian Norman Jr. He, regardless of the number of fights Brian Norman Jr. has had was like 20, 29. Keyshawn Davis has more experience than him in terms of, like, he was a better amateur, silver medalist. Like, duh. He has a better pedigree. He has better names on his record. Keyshawn Davis has never fought anybody with a losing record. Do you not understand that? He was very fast-tracked into being what he is today. So you don't have to have 30 fights or fucking 25 fights with 10 of those guys being straight bums in order to, quote-unquote, be ready to fight a Devin Haney. How was Brian Norman Jr. ready when he was an email champion? Like, him, Boots, Stanionis, Barrios, all those guys got emailed their belts. They were the interns for those, but it's like, once Bud had dropped all those belts, those became the champions of the division. All those guys got emailed their belts. Boots was the only one to unify. So it's like, there was nothing proven about Brian Norman Jr. before Devin Haney fought him. It's just that people didn't believe so much in Devin Haney that they put so much stock in Brian Norman Jr. And it showed that Brian Norman Jr. was a top ranked special. Look at Richard Torres Jr. Just now, like, yes, Brian Norman Jr. does look a lot better now under Ronnie Shields, but we don't know how a Devin Haney rematch would go. Like, let's see a few more fights, like step up the competition a little bit more, and then I could say like, oh yeah, he might win the rematch, right? Because it wasn't like Brian Norman Jr. was getting outclassed. Like, Brian Norman Jr. had a chance to win that fight, not even on some knockout type of stuff. It's like literally it could have went to a draw. That's how much Devin Haney took his foot off the gas. That's how underwhelming the performance was. That fight could have went to a draw if Brian Norman Jr. would have just stepped it up for what, 3 rounds or 2 more rounds, because he definitely won the rounds in the latter half. Devin Haney wasn't winning those last couple of rounds at all. It wasn't impressive. And I just got to keep reiterating that when we talk about a Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney, saying that Keyshawn isn't ready. Keyshawn been ready. Keyshawn been ready, and it's like we had to keep talking about how it's weird. Other people do it, but it's more so with Devin Haney. They will push the fight off and say like, oh, he's not ready. Oh, it would be so horrible for Keyshawn. But they were in such a hurry to fight Rolly Romero. Does anybody think Rolly can beat Keyshawn? No, they don't. So why would you be in a hurry to fight a Rolly who everybody has beaten versus a Keyshawn who is undefeated, who has been a champion? So that it just doesn't make sense. They have this saying called, they say everything but let's fight. And it literally applies to them. Devin Haney will say a nigga's name for clout the day that he fights, and then like how Keyshawn was saying, tell him get in contact with my manager. It's like, bro, he's wolfing, he's lying. Like, it's like all his peers are keeping it real. Like, Devin Haney just be clout chasing. A lot of this stuff with Zuffa, with Shakur, and people had the audacity to say that Shakur was lying and this and that but Bill be lying, bro. Bill be lying, bro. Bill Haney is a great, excellent, amazing promoter, bro. Bill has convinced a whole demographic of dumb niggas that Devin Haney is the best boxer in the world. That there's a reason why Devin Haney is only on the pound for pound list because Ja Pataya signed a fucking Zuffa and he couldn't get the Zero Ramirez fight before Benavidez. Like, Ja Pataya would be on the pound for pound over Devin Haney. Boots, after he beats Xander Zayas, is going to be on the pound for pound. If Virgil was able to fight Fundora, he would be on the pound for pound. That's what I'm saying. The only reason why a guy like Devin Haney, Navarrete, and Oscar Collazo, no disrespect to Collazo, the only reason why those guys are on the pound for pounds is because the other guys underneath them that would be in the 11, the 15 range are just unproven. They don't have the names yet, but they are the pound for pound talents. People know that they deserve to be on there. People know that they deserve to be in the top 10. It's just that they don't have the justification to get on there. Devin Haney has already been undisputed. He's already, been a champion at 140, champion at 147. But the thing is when they look at him, do they think he's better than Boots? Fuck no. Do they think he's better than Virgil? No, they don't. Do they think he's better than Job? No, they don't. But somebody has to go there. Navarrete, he beat Nunez, Collazo is just in his own little thing. He's in the lowest weight class. Like, shout out to Collazo, man. Dude is huge for his size. And then you got Espinoza, right? Espinoza may be on there. That like soon. So I'm saying like you got different guys that are on the pound for pound, and then they have the audacity to disrespect someone like Inoue. Like, dude, like not even in the same ballpark. Like I used to be a Inoue hater until I just like I had to respect the guy. It was a good bit of fights ago when I just finally accepted that Inoue is just that guy. But it's like I don't want to get too deep in it. But once again, it's a lot of clout chasing that goes on with Devin Haney. It's a lot of It's a lot of hand holding. It's a lot of they will spend all day pushing narratives instead of saying, hey, go send Keyshawn Davis the contract. Why does he have to petition the WBO? Say he petitions the WBO, right? And the WBO puts him in the rankings. Does that mean that he gets to fight with Devin Haney? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You guys will jump through any hoops. We've never heard anybody having to petition unless a fighter was ducking. We've never seen a guy had to petition to be in the rankings over negotiating a fight. You feel me? Just to be in the rankings, not petitioning them as an interim champion or as a mandatory, just petitioning them to get in the rankings just for a fight that hasn't been negotiated. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of narrative pushing. Why not just say, hey, send Keyshawn Davis a contract? That's the easiest fucking thing ever. But they do everything but send contracts. And if they do send the contract, the issue is they're not willing to play the same game that they did with Shakur. Because Shakur petitioned it and it went to a purse bid and they dropped the belt. So they know Keyshawn Davis would be a significant B-side. So he would take what is given to him and he will go. He's going to bite the bullet on the money part just to beat Devin Haney. And they know that. They're not willing to send Keyshawn Davis a contract because he's going to call their bluff and accept it. That's the reason why. They could send him a 75-25 and he's going to take it. They could send him whatever and he's going to take it because he sees the bigger picture. Me beating Devin Haney is going to boost my profile so much to the point that I'm willing to take that, I'm willing to take that hit on the money for this fight, for this one fight, for the long-term success. And that's the reason why they're not fighting Keyshawn, because Keyshawn, he's willing to do that. They already know that. So it's just a lot of narrative pushing when it comes to Devin Haney, and I really just hope that the guy finds his way, man, because he hasn't fought in 6 months. It's getting embarrassing to the point that his fans have nothing to go off of, just narratives and old sparring footage. Lomachenko fight, like that, they have nothing, bro. There's a reason why Shakur Stevenson is number 3. Should be number 2. Well, I'm going to talk about Usyk. It is what it is. I'm going to talk about him in another video. But yeah, man, Devin Haney, a lot of this stuff when it comes to him with the Ryan Garcia rematch, he could have fought Ryan, chose not to. He could have fought Shakur by now, chose not to. Could have fought Keyshawn, chose not to. He could have fought Boots, chose not to. He could have fought, like, dude, Devin Haney is just simply waiting around for an easier fight. That's all that he's waiting on. And if he can't make the easier fight, he's going to sit on ice. This whole time period has shown you guys that. He wants to get paid for an easier fight. Devin Haney is truly the definition of a professional prize fighter. He's not that exciting. He doesn't have much of a bag. Like, in terms of fighting style, people are not going to come out to see him. So the only thing that he can sell you on is that he's undefeated. And the last thing I want to talk about in this video is the whole Debo thing. When Two Tone had came up with that, it was satire. And when I say I believed it as satire, but even when Devin and Bill was going into it, I believed it as satire, but they have truly leaned into this. They have sold this character. This is a character. And it's spelled wrong anyway. This is a character. There's nothing about Devin Haney's style, his career, or anything that says Debo. There's nothing that says bully. Nothing. But I thought that they were leaning into it on some satire type of stuff. But in reality, these guys have literally like leaned into it as convincing everybody else that he is Debo. He is not. He is not Debo. It's actually quite embarrassing that his fans are saying, oh, Debo, like they really, it's like cognitive dissonance. Like, what you see in the ring is not what is being told to you outside the ring. I don't see nothing but a 1. Devin Haney is so heavily reliant on his jab because he doesn't have many other tools in the box. His dad is his main trainer, and that's no disrespect to Bill, but you don't see too many guys run the Bill Haney to train. Yes, you have other guys that come in to train with Devin Haney, but Devin Haney is a very, very limited fighter. That's the reason why his jab gets highlighted. Not because it's so damn great. It's because that's all he has. The rest of these guys have trained with Bomac, have trained with their grandfathers who have trained other fighters. Like, these guys are very, 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 very talented. It have more skills. Willie Moses, like you can see Zaquay Moses. The kid is talented. He's a good step below his cousin Shakur, but it's like you can see the talent is there. The skill is there. Right? Very talented young fighter. Right? You have a Carmelo Moulton. Like, he's talented, he just don't fucking fight enough. So, that their whole little generation, that's another guy. I forgot his name. Is it Melnicky as well? Like it's another guy. He's from the UK. Very talented guy. That their whole little generation is funny. Like they're very good fighters. But once again, the whole Debo thing, I saw that satire, but you have people like really lean into it, and it's gonna be such a bad. Like I don't see any other fights out there that can boost Devin Haney's profile. Devin Haney his star has not risen since 135. It's diminished, or it's stayed the same way. Devin Haney is not going to fight Keyshawn. He's not going to fight Shakur. He's not going to fight Boots. He's not moving up. But the thing is, you guys believe that he will. That's the only reason why his name is still talked about. Devin Haney is the same person as Tank Davis, just less talented, less entertaining, less dangerous, but the same person. They want to make the most amount of money while fighting the least amount of competition. It's just one is extremely uber talented and gifted, and the other is a very hard worker. That lacks those gifts, but he's not able to sell. He's not able to do that. Like, but even so, it's a pick 'em game. They want to protect that. Oh, they want to protect the bag. They want to get the bag. But the thing is, only one fighter is able to do that, and it's not Devin Haney. It's Tank Davis. Okay, peace.